Okay, so let's I'm taking this opportunity to do this little chat and ride. This is I'm basically doing the ChatGTP video at the moment, so I'm taking this opportunity to do a ride and chat. So today's topic is pets, and obviously, sorry, sat nav was talking. Obviously a lot of people have pets, and well, I guess it's story time today, because we've had a couple of weeks of, well, should we say, hell when it comes to pets. So the story begins with us, well, the other half actually. One of her clients at work works on a farm, and they've got a cat that's like semi-feral, and it's taken their farm as their home. So she was pregnant, and we decided we would take a couple of the kittens. We've been quite excited about it. We own a couple of cats already, so we know what we're doing with cats. So we picked them up a couple of weeks ago, and they was quite small, so we didn't think much of it. But we've had the week from hell, or 2 weeks from hell. We got them home. They was playful for the first day. They ate for the first day, but they had a runny poop. So we thought, they'll get over that. But as the week went on and on and on, it didn't get better, and one of them just wasn't eating, and well, they both were starting to not play. And by the end of the week I was getting really worried. So I got to the Friday evening, and I was really worried about one of them. She was not eating all day, lethargic, and at the end of the night I ended up syringe feeding her, like water and food, or milk, kitten milk. So anyway, where was I? So I was syringe feeding her, and then all of a sudden she just sort of collapsed, and so we rushed her to the hospital, the vets. And there's unfortunately there's nothing they could do. She just wasn't getting any glucose. Obviously very dehydrated, no glucose levels. So we had no choice but to put her down. And we'd only known her a week, and yeah, that really, really hurt. There was tears from both of us. Because as a kitten, it makes it even worse. Because it was a kitten, it makes it even worse. Plus, you feel like you failed as a parent, because they're like relying on you, aren't they? But the vets, they advised us to get the other one checked out, because obviously those both showing the same symptoms. So yeah, those both showing the same symptoms. So we got the other one booked into the hospital. I'll say hospital, but it's a vets, but it's like they do like the equivalent of a hospital. This one, they're good vets, and yeah, booked in, and he was dehydrated, nowhere near as bad as the other one. His appetite wasn't great, but it was still a bit better. And then so he had to stay in a couple of nights. Well, look at all this gravel, don't like this. So yeah, he had to stay in a couple of nights there. Fluids, what have you. And then after a couple of days he came home, and as you can imagine, we was quite relieved. Oh no, he wants me to carry on. I thought he was going to take me up there. So yeah, we was quite relieved to have him home, and we got home. He was due a check-up in a couple of days, so we actually had the check-up a day early, because he was still being lethargic and not a huge appetite. So we took him in, they gave him fluids, he was dehydrated again. By this time we'd got antibiotics from the hospital, and we was giving them, they're horrible antibiotics, absolutely horrible. Makes him froth at the mouth, etc. So we had these antibiotics by then, and it was sort of an up and down battle between his weights going up then down, up then down, up down, and so all week long we just kept taking him back to the vets for fluids during the day. And then to cut a long story short, by the end of the week, this week, so a week after the other one died, we thought his signs of getting better at one point, because he started doing less liquid poo, more, you know, it was a bit more solid, but not solid. And yeah, so at the end of the week we had a very bad day on the Thursday night where he was sick twice, just diarrhea flooding out of him, and in the morning he was just you know, like not with it, you know, he was shaky. So we knew exactly what it was. It was exactly the same as the other one. The glucose just was going, he was getting no glucose to his brain, his back. So they do this thing with their back leg, they start stretching their back leg out, and it was just, we just knew that he had no sugar in him, even though we was giving him a glucose solution as well. So we had unfortunately no choice, because we couldn't see him suffer like the other one. His sister just stopped functioning basically, and just back leg stopped working, couldn't work, so we couldn't see him do that. So we had no choice but to put him down. So unfortunately we only had these kittens for 2 weeks, but we couldn't believe just how much it affected us. I mean, I don't cry. The only time I've cried was when my mum died, and I cried at these kittens dying. I bonded with them because I was off work for the first week, so I bonded with them quite hard because I was the one looking after them. And so it turned out that they had a parasite called coccidia. It was a bacterial parasite type thing, and they also had worms, quite bad worms as well in the end, we found out, because he passed a worm after having some anti-parasitic. So yeah, very, very, oh crap, what's this? So that was very, very horrible. Gonna have to wash the bike when I get back, aren't I? A lot of rain yesterday. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, so that was 2 weeks of hell, you know, up, down. At one point we thought we'd lost him, then we thought we'd saved him, then we thought we'd lost him. In the end we ended up losing both kittens, and yeah, I know it sounds bad, but at the end of it I just felt relieved that the whole thing was over. Obviously I felt terrible, but we was on a constant worry, just all day, every day, worrying how he was going to do. He was he was not like a kitten. He was not playful, he was not anything like that, so he just had no life. It's just horrible. This road's a bit shit. ChatGTP, I suppose it wasn't aware of the weather when it programmed it. But yeah, so pets, they can be wonderful, and they can bring you absolute heartbreak as well. So how does everyone else's pets get on? You know, how does everyone else do with their pets? Do they have good, bad luck? Any other similar stories? Now when I go into my daughter's room, because that's where they spent most of their time, it just feels empty, you know, when you walk into a place, because she had her room decorated, new bed, new side stands, all that type of stuff redone, and as I was building all the stuff, the kittens were there with me during the day when I was doing it. So every time I walk into her room I just get reminded of these poor little kittens now, which is a bit sad. So I had quite an empty weekend, you know, when house feels empty. So that's why I'm going down to meet the missus now in Canberra with her friends. So any similar stories? I mean, I don't blame the farm, you know, I mean, because they must have had this coccidia, must have picked up fairly soon before we got them, because they were still playful for the first day when we got them, and then they just went downhill rapidly after that. So we believe they got picked up just before, but the worms, maybe they should have warned them, but whatever, it's too late now. So yeah, it hasn't put me off though. I'm still thinking about getting some more kittens or cats, some more kittens, so it hasn't entirely put me off, or us off rather. I mean, why do we do it to ourselves, eh? Why do we do it to ourselves? Oh, what a shitty road. What a shitty road. See, this is the weather yesterday, just a horrendous rain. But yeah, like I say, we only knew the little girl for a week and the boy for 2 weeks, so... And it was still really, really hurt, really hard. So, you know, losing a pet that you've had for a long time would be obviously a lot worse. Please don't come around the corner or anything. Anyone else have similar stories? I mean, obviously everyone who has pets, they always die before you. So it's hard. Anyway, that was story time today. Not really much to say on the biking news, apart from the bike's had its first service and it's going well, and I'm really enjoying the bike. Okay, 1/4 of a mile turn left, right. Bloody hell, look at all this. Must have flooded badly down here yesterday, or, you know, I say flooded badly, but it must have had a lot of water running through here. Anyway, that's story time for today. Let us know if you've got any horrible stories to do with pets. And yeah, that's basically it. I ain't got no more to say. So thank you for watching story time today, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, bye.